And look who's back again. They said it couldn't be done. They said two of the greatest minds in sports and wrestling couldn't come together and get along. And then they invented this. The Coach and Bro Show. I'm the coach. He's my partner, Mr. Vince Russo. Hello, sir. How was your weekend?
Good morning, Coach. My weekend was great, bro. I was in NYC all weekend, bro. I got a little something to say about that later on. I had a great weekend, Coach.
Before I get to it, we're really starting to take Sportskeeda by storm. We're taking the sports and rest. But I have this guy on. He was using you. He was using your name. And I don't know how I feel about it. And so I need you to either defend him or we're going to bury him right here, right now. So this guy named Ringside with What a Day Joe.
What a Day Joe, yeah.
What is this guy about?
Yeah, listen, What a Day Joe. Good guy, solid guy. What a day. Quit begging for plugs, bro, especially off of my back. Don't be jumping on my back looking for cheap plugs. What a day, Joe. Outside of that, Coach, he's a pretty cool dude.
He said, hey, Coach, I always do this follow back thing on Mondays. I put up what people need to follow. He's like, don't forget about your other partner at Sportskeeda Wrestling.
Yeah.
I said, I didn't know. I thought I had one.
Yeah.
Thought I had one.
Mine. Yeah. He's going to throw that around looking for the cheap plugs. Yeah. Coach, I got to ask you something up front about this stuff real quick up front, because please help me with this.
Always.
Now, Coach, I'm watching this much more closely than I have in the last couple of years as far as the NFL. I'll tell you, Coach, what my ritual is.
Okay.
I will usually get up Sunday morning and I will usually go to, my DraftKings because, Coach, if I don't have skin in the game, I'm not interested in the game.
I'm with you, baby.
So I got to put something on the game, but I never really followed week by week religiously. Bro, please tell me the first 3 weeks are kabuki-ish, and once we get into 6, 7, 8, things will start settling in. Please tell me that, Coach.
I prefer to use the term banana land.
Yes.
Nothing makes sense.
Nothing.
Just this week, Denver goes to Tampa and beats the Bucs. Can't figure that one out. How about the Steelers? They're the first team in the history of football, make sure I get this right, that they're 3-0 without scoring 3 touchdowns offensively. That's banana land. You've got the Green Bay Packers, who lose their $50 million a year quarterback, Jordan Love, and a guy that they said couldn't even play in the league wins 2 games for the Packers as a backup. It makes no sense.
Coach, what about the Eagles and the Saints? Are you kidding? That was the one that I was like, are you kidding me? Nothing makes sense, bro.
The Saints, there's always those jokes that, they're just being who they are. I was buying in on the Saints for the first 2 weeks. I was in. And then yesterday, Derek Carr does what Derek Carr always does. One of the biggest bets at DraftKings, by the way, Vince, was Derek Carr to throw at least 1 interception. Over half of an interception.
Yeah.
Until the last 2 minutes, he played average or below it, but hadn't thrown an interception. What does he do? Last drive of the game, a chance to tie it or win it. One of those ugly over the middle for no reason, lob interceptions. Ticket.
Yeah. And on top of that, how bad did the Eagles look last week? They looked pitiful last week.
Terrible. I don't know. And for the last several years, running backs have not been getting selected or paid. And now all of a sudden, all these running backs are having career years. They're all running for 80, 100, 110 yards a game. I had Alvin Kamara yesterday with the Saints, and we'll get into some of these games in a little bit, but I had him over 109 combined yards, Vince, rushing and receiving. And he was up close to 140, 150.
Yeah.
These running backs are now the lowest. If you look at quarterbacks, then wide receivers, some are making $30, $35 million a year.
Yeah.
The running backs are down in that 10 to 15. They're the lowest of these skill position players, but they're the ones that are getting leaned on, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, Henry yesterday was an absolute beast, bro.
Beast.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys, and again, we'll talk about this, but the Cowboys, they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But tonight, Vince, tonight's a special night. I know this show, if they're watching us for the first time right here on the cover page of Sportskeeda, but also on demand, you can always use some of this information to make yourself a smarter sports better, a smarter NFL fan. Even if you watch it after the game is over, that's okay. But Vince, tonight we have 2 Monday Night Football games. The first one starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's the Jags and the Bills. Bills, according to DraftKings, laying 5.5. Let's get into that one first, because you got 2 quarterbacks that are established. However, it's Trevor Lawrence, who's the only quarterback, Vince, of that draft class that's still even with his same team that drafted him. It was a bust of a class. They're 0-2. The Bills are 2-0. Josh Allen looks like he's becoming the Josh Allen of old.
Yeah.
When you look at this matchup, what do you see?
Well, I do want to say this, Coach. I don't want to burst anybody's bubble out there. I know, we do this show half football, half wrestling.
Correct.
And I got bad news for the NFL. Because, the creative minds at the WWE found out there were 2 football games on tonight.
What'd they do?
They're doubling down, Coach. They're doubling down. Rumor has it the main event is J.D. McDonough versus Sami Zayn, bro. Going up against 2 NFL games. So I'm telling you, bro, Lawrence, Allen, sorry, bro. Bro, McDonough, Zayn, bro. Come on, Coach.
Please tell me you're joking. You are joking.
Bro, I am joking, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Yes.
The only thing that'd be worse is if they put the main event at 8:00 and then had the promo to promote the main event at 10:45.
Yeah, exactly, Coach. So I don't know how they're gonna fare today against 2 NFL teams, but the Jaguars, Bills. Coach, I've been saying this all along. Like, I'm a big revenge guy. And I've been saying this, so far early in the season, but it keeps backfiring in my face. Bro, the Bills have lost their last 2 games to the Jaguars. So you would think, okay, bro, we can't take these guys lightly. We got to get up for the Jags. But every time I've said that, the odds have not gone in my favor.
And I don't know why. And it's funny how, because the NFL is a year-to-year league, but it's funny how those types of stats live up. They live up. In college, at least you got the players for 4 years. They say, okay, the last couple of years, then they move on, right? But in the NFL, that's not the case. You got players moving around all the time. And I don't understand why that stat is where it's at. Yeah. But now you're looking at the Bills, and they've kind of turned over. Remember, they used to be gunslinger. You got Stephon Diggs, all these guys running all over the place. They're now a run-first type of team. And week 1, they scored 34 against Arizona. 34-28, they win. But they were down by a lot. But then they go to Miami. It was very workmanlike. Yeah. And Miami sucks now because they lost Tua during that game. But I think the Bills are starting to figure out what the rest of the league is figuring out. That if you play smash mouth, good football, and you score when you're supposed to score, a team like Jacksonville will implode on themselves. And that's what they've done week 1 in Miami and then week 2 as well. So
Coach, I'll never forget, Coach. I remember Josh Allen. I think it was his rookie year. Bro, remember when they got ousted from the playoffs because he made that bonehead play where he threw that underhanded pass? But I got to tell you, bro, looking back now, I think that was a positive, because one thing, when I watch Josh Allen play, bro, I think he has learned, because now he's a very, very smart quarterback. Not only is he talented. So I really think, bro, that this is a guy that learned from his mistakes early on. So I'm looking forward to the game today. I'm surprised too. Listen, bro, I told you that Lamar was my favorite quarterback in the league. And I also told you, no way they're going 0-3. I said that. However, bro, I like Trevor Lawrence. I really do like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, in the playoffs, he came up so big. But, bro, 382 passing yards in his first 2 games.
It's not a lot.
Not good, bro.
It's not good. And there's a lot of quarterbacks like that. I think that these 2 quarterbacks, Vince, they have something that they cannot control in their way. They're playing in the era of Patrick Mahomes. And so now they've all lost to him so many different times. It's like Vince asking a wrestler to fight Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship 10 times in a row, 10 Mondays in a row. You
Right.
just can't figure out how to get it done because the powers that be have something with Gunther that nobody can figure out. That's what the Chiefs have. And now Josh Allen, how many times have he lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs? A bunch. And then you got, Trevor Lawrence. He has no sustained success in the playoffs. So don't you find it difficult for these teams to have to get through the regular season, perform well, but everybody says, well, let's just wait till they get to the playoffs? That's got to be a hard thing to deal with.
Well, it's not only that, Coach, and then it's when you get to the playoffs, now we have that added pressure that we didn't have during the season. Bro, I'm telling you right now, this is going to happen with the Dodgers. I don't care if Shohei is 80-80, bro. We're going to the bro, can you imagine if Shohei takes the apple in the playoffs? But, bro, what happens every year? So I think, Coach, there comes a point where psychologically, bro, this really starts playing with you, man.
By the way, has there ever been a bigger story that has been overshadowed by the NFL than Shohei Ohtani?
Unbelievable. He had the greatest game of all time last week.
Of all time. And nobody talked about it. Like, his stat line was something. And how about, so Skip Schumacher, who's the manager of the Marlins, he's from like 5 minutes from where I live. His son played with his littlest one in my son's league. And did you see the video of him where basically one of his coaches asked, hey, should we walk Shohei? And he says, F that. And then after the game, he says, that's not how you play. You challenge the best players of all time. You see if they could beat you. And he did. And I respect that.
Bro, I remember, Coach, when they used to walk Bonds with the bases loaded.
That was crazy. I remember that too. We were actually in San Francisco the year they hit 73. Remember, I used to love to go out early because remember the company would always make you do the Saturday night stay over. Oh, your ticket's cheaper. Like, okay, I'm 24 years old. I'll go out early. And I remember we had like 8 people and they were getting bored, so they wanted to go to the amusement park. So they walked out of the stadium at the 7th inning stretch like idiots because Barry Bonds was coming up in the bottom of the 7th. What do you think he did? Wait
a minute. They walked. Oh, no, he didn't set the record that night.
No,
he just
hit
hit a
number
home.
54. He had number 54.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's
but
ridiculous.
they were in the parking lot as he hit it. And then they were texting me, Coach, what just happened? I said, what do you think just happened? That's a Barry Bonds eruption. That's not a 8-hole hitter eruption.
Yeah, I could tell you this too, Coach. That season, I was in the park when he hit the first homer. I was there I went to the opening series when he hit homer number 1 that year.
Wow.
Who knew? Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the same stadium. And I love when we get off on these tangents here on Coach and Bro Show. That's the same stadium. You'll probably remember this. 2001, I went to Vince and I said, can I please be a part of the XFL? He's like, well, if you're going to do it, I'm not paying you the same as everybody else that got hired by NBC. It was my dream. I wanted to do, So me and JR and King, we were the backup NBC game on Saturday night, right? And it was a disaster from day one, just a disaster. So on like week 4 or 5, Kevin Dunn says, hey, Coach, I need you to go. We were at the Tough Enough tryouts on Thursday night. And he goes, I need you to go shoot some with the cheerleaders in Orlando tomorrow. I said, but my game's in San Francisco on Saturday. He goes, don't worry, we can still get you there in time. So I go to Orlando the next day. I was dating one of the cheerleaders at the time. And we shoot whatever we were shooting. And then I get up and fly Orlando, Atlanta, San Francisco. I kid you not, Vince. The jetway comes up. It's about 3:15 local time. Game starts at 5. Jetway comes up. It breaks 18 inches before it gets to the plane. And I said, well, I can just step over there. I go, nope, hazard. Can't even open the door. We waited till 4:30, over an hour, and I'm in first class.
Yeah.
They bring stairs to the back of the plane. All 300 people get off before me. My driver has my bag. Now we rush out. Now we're driving in the rain, pouring down rain to San Francisco. I'm changing clothes in the car and everything. By this point, King had quit. JR was on the main game. And so I was the only one left of the original 3.
Oh, my God.
Dick Butkus, and Matt Vasgersian was our. So I did remember the race for the ball, that brilliant idea Vince had?
Yeah.
Let's start, instead of a coin flip.
Yeah.
Let's throw out some shoulders by guys diving for a football just to see who gets the game. Remember that?
Yeah.
One of the dumbest things of all time. So I'm doing the race for the ball. So I run out of the car. It's 5:02, 5:03. I'm running. They hand me the microphone, my headset. I'm running on. It was like a great commercial. Right on. Two guys are waiting on the 20-yard line. And I say, okay.
Oh,
okay.
God.
They hadn't even tested the microphone.
Oh, my God.
So I do all of that to get there and not do the race for the ball. So then the producers are here, Coach, we need you at first half. So I tried 2 or 3 times. Finally, I said, guys, this is BS. I threw the equipment down. I stood there like a petulant child for the entire game as the rain's coming down. And on top of that, had to fly into a blizzard in DC the next day for Monday Night Raw.
Oh, don't you miss that, bro? Don't you miss that, Coach?
Not for a second.
Yeah, I know. God, that sounds like
that was our world, Vince.
That was it, man. That was it. I'll never forget, bro. I know we're going off on tangents here.
That's okay.
Bro, here's the one thing I never forgot, and I never forgave Vince for. Bro, we were traveling to some podunk town, and everybody had to get on this plane. Bro, it was like an old 1940s Army plane, bro. Stuff was hanging from the ceiling. We all thought we were going to die. Bro, the whole trip, not one person said one word. That's how scared everybody on that plane was, bro.
Hey, but you got to get there.
Got to get there, bro. If we lose a couple along the way, we'll replace them.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, game. This is what I love about the show. Nobody has stories like me and Vince. Literally nobody, because it's not possible for them to have stories like me and Vince. That's what this is all about. Coach and Bro Show. All right, on Sportskeeda. Game number 2 tonight. Now, of the three of the 4 quarterbacks, Vince, are OGs. We already talked about Trevor Lawrence. We talked about Josh Allen. Now, in this other game, you got the Commanders. They've got the youngster coming out of LSU. He's played decent. They beat the Giants last week, 21-18.
Right.
But then you got Cincinnati and Jamar Chase just chirping. We're still the team to beat when they went into Kansas City. And they should have beaten Kansas City. Let's be honest. But they didn't. So they're 0-2. Joe Burrow and the Bengals laying 7 at home against the Commanders team that I think is a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. Am I crazy?
Coach, I'm gonna do this, bro. This is called a cliffhanger in the wrestling business, bro. This is a cliffhanger.
Give it to
everything you said. I'm throwing all out the window. I got something much stronger, much more significant that I am going to share with you when the time comes, Coach. But everything you said, bro, I'm throwing out the window. I got something stronger.
So all the work I did, the hours,
hours
on
this
hours of research, you're just going to throw it out the window.
I'm throwing it all out the window for this one. You know, I come from a fan perspective.
Always. That's your role. That's your role on the show.
I got big news for this one when we talk about it.
All right. Our picks coming up in just about 7 or 8 minutes from right now. You'll get our picks and whatever that little cliffhanger was that Vince just threw out there. Now, we do have a few other games we got to talk about from Sunday because this is the Monday version of the Coach and Bro Show. And we are pop culture. If everybody was pop culture, Vince. Mm-hmm. And last night, the Chiefs, another ugly win. I don't know how they keep doing it. I'm a huge Chiefs fan, but they beat Atlanta 22-17 because their head coach can't figure out how to kick field goals and take the points, and then they could have won at the end on a field goal. But that's not the big story from last night. You and I have talked about it. I think there is I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's the globetrotting that I keep bringing up, but there was no Taylor Swift last night, and Travis Kelce looks like a shell of his former self. Through 3 games, he has 7 catches. Last night, he had 4 for 30 yards. He's the highest paid tight end in football. They made him that in the offseason. I think it was a career achievement contract, not anything else. But Vince, don't you think there's something to this now after 3 weeks and he's done nothing?
Coach, right here on my shoulder, I have a tattoo of the Fab Four. I am a Beatle mark through and through. I'll give you a Hulk. I'm Coach. I'm a little older than you. I remember going to see Hard Day's Night in the movie when it came out. When it came out, we couldn't wait to go see A Hard Day's Night, bro. I must have been about, I think that came out in 64. I was 3 years old. We went to see Hard Day's Night. That's how far I go back with the Fab Four.
Okay.
Well, bro, if you're a fan of the Fab Four, you're very familiar with one Yoko Ono. Has Taylor Swift become the Yoko Ono of the Kansas City Chiefs, bro?
But they're winning. They're still winning. It's ugly.
Barely.
But they're winning.
But the Falcons beat themselves last night. They had that game, bro. They beat themselves. Taylor Swift, bro. Listen, Coach. Let's be honest. You and I know how things work. You know everybody in that locker room is cursing Taylor Swift. Everyone. You know everybody, all the players are doing this behind his back. You know that's going on, Coach.
He looks slow. He looks old. And when they show your girlfriend more than they show you, that's a problem. And he literally sat there, and he's wearing that stupid mustache now. He's got the haircut with the little spikes on it. Reportedly, Vince, this is a true story. She has spent or made him spend over $500,000 on new clothes and a new wardrobe. I think it's her money.
And he also moved too, right? Didn't he move to this?
He had to buy it in a secure neighborhood behind gates. Yeah. And then they have her black SUVs, 24-hour security with her all the time. Can you imagine Vince living with 24-hour security?
You know what my grandfather used to say to me, Coach? Here's what my grandfather would say to me. Get your head out of your cooler. Get your head out of your cooler. And, bro, come on, Coach, you laugh. Does it not seem like his head is straight up his cooler when you watch him, bro?
It does. And I was made fun of this. Or, Coach, you're reading too much into it. Vince, you and I have both traveled all over the world. And the one thing when I watch Rocky, like he'll go to Japan or go to a movie, the first thing he does is get off the plane. Jet lag's a very real thing. He heads to the gym and he makes a video, right? Travis Kelce, just last year from February to July, he went to Vegas 5 times for 5 different things. He went to Australia to watch her, Japan, Europe 3 times. So are you telling me there's no way he could have been working out?
No way,
there's
bro.
No way.
No way. No way.
And then you pointed out the whole political thing. She's come out, and they were not in the same box at the football game, but they were at the U.S. Open. Again, why is he traveling to New York? It wasn't an off week. They played on Thursday. So they had to be back to practice the next Wednesday. Why are you going to New York?
And Coach, not only that, bro, you're an athlete. Bro, you know at that level, focus is everything. Everything. Bro, everything. From the minute that game ended for those players yesterday, they immediately are thinking of next week, and that's all they're thinking about. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he's thinking about a pop singer 6 days out of 7.
I never like to tell anybody how to live their lives. Or certainly, he would have to say the last year of his life has been phenomenal. But he doesn't look like he's having fun right now.
No.
And also the story that came out, I love when we turn into TMZ, by the way. It's my most fun thing to do. Screw the Texans and Vikings, by the way. But it came out that there was this fake document, or at least he says that it's fake. Because, he has this big PR firm and they've earned their money. $100 million podcast, which, by the way, I've heard they're already trying to maneuver the numbers. Because, Vince, as you know, when you're doing a podcast, you've got to sell millions of downloads to make $100 million.
Right.
And when you upfront the money, now it's on the company. It's not on Jason and Travis.
Right.
Do you see any clips from them? They used to be all over social media, Instagram, nothing.
Yeah.
I see nothing.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, Vince, this could be, and if that, and what I'm talking about is a document that came out that all of this was fake.
Yeah.
And that they were planning the breakup to happen September 28th or September 29th, which is still to come. And he said, no, I'm hiring lawyers. It's not real. But Vince, why would this document even be made if there wasn't something going on?
Well, it's not only that, Coach. I happen to work with a lot of guys that, are, conspiracy theorists.
Bro, you do have a lot on your staff.
Yeah, bro, from the jump, From day one, those guys were saying this was a made relationship. No question about it whatsoever. This is not real. This is a contracted relationship between a pop superstar and a pop NFL player to, send a message or get a word out or get people to go a certain way. I was hearing that from day one, Coach. So that's why when I heard this, I wasn't surprised to hear that at all.
Well, if you look at it, it helped both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Him, clearly, because he is now signed for hundreds of millions of dollars, but then on her side, she always dated like small actors and musicians, and she's never dated anybody like him. So this helps her
a
lot as well.
Right.
So,
right.
Boy,
and Coach, that's the thing, not to get too much into politics, but, bro, listen, if she's not working for somebody, okay, bro, if she's not working for a higher power, nobody with a brain in their head is going to endorse a candidate when you're going to piss off half your fan base. Nobody's going to do that, Coach.
I agree.
No one's going to do it. She did that, which tells me that was part of the deal. This is what you want to get here. We'll get you here. This is what you need to do. But my point with Kelsey is, so, bro, now she's alienated half her audience. Bro, that rubs off on him.
100%.
100%. Yes. So now that's something else that he has to deal with.
Religion and politics are two things that you don't talk about.
Exactly.
They are hot button topics, and she came out very, very overtly to support Miss Harris.
Yes.
It's I as a fan of the Chiefs, it sucks to watch this. And Patrick Mahomes, he's like Switzerland. He gets along with everybody, even though his wife didn't go along with her. He's just like, oh, she's calling plays now. How do you think the players in the locker room are like? She's calling plays now. We're taking plays from Taylor Swift, courtesy number 15. It's turning into a mess. But they're still. And I heard people last night. Oh, they're still winning, Coach. But you watch how they're winning. Even they're not dominating anybody.
No, not at all. No, they've done so far this year just enough to win. That's it.
If I see one more shot of her on like a 2-yard in where he gets tackled after 3 yards and she acts like he scored a touchdown, I'm going to lose my mind. You saw the one last week. He turned around to her. She's like, oh, it's like he's at the 35. Yeah. He's at the 35.
I know. Yeah. Brutal.
All right, you are watching the Coach and Bro Show. We talk football. We talk wrestling still to come. We've got our bonus wrestling content you can find at Backstage Pass. But first and foremost, we also do betting. So, Vince, I'm looking you directly in the eye because you've been really good through the first couple of weeks of this show. But tonight, we've got two games. 5.5 for the Bills, 7 for the Bengals. What bets do you like? Where are you headed, sir?
See, I'm a little jaded with the Bills, and I'll tell you why I'm a little jaded. First of all, I think Josh Allen looked absolutely phenomenal last week. They won the big game last week. They killed Miami last week. We're under a touchdown. We're home. I'm giving the 5.5 points, but I got to be honest with you, Coach. I get a kick out of when the Jaguars lose because of Tony Khan. I enjoy seeing the Jaguars lose. I'm just being honest with you because this freaking guy is playing with wrestling action figures and he owns an NFL franchise, Coach. He owns an NFL franchise and he's playing with wrestlers that draw 150,000 viewers. So when the Jaguars lose, I kind of get a kick out of that, Coach. I got to be honest with you, but I really do. I like Josh Allen. I like the Bills. If it were a touchdown, I don't know. Under a touchdown, bro, I'm taking the Bills and giving the points.
I'm going to take the Bills as well, -5.5, because I just don't think the Jags are very good. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere in Buffalo, and I think what the Bills did to Miami, they figured out how they can be great. Run the ball, timely passing. But I got to ask you this because you brought it up. What did you make of the Sammy Guevara, I think I said his name right, wrestling match prior to said Jacksonville game last week as an added bonus. And
Well,
then they had, I mean, it was crazy.
Is there any, come on, coach, is there any difference between a Sammy Guevara match before a football game and the halftime match between Mick Foley and The Rock that drew about 130 million people? Is there any difference between the two? Come on, coach. Come on, you're just playing favorites because Rock's your favorite, bro. You're just playing favorites, coach.
Yeah, that's right. Coach, all you do is just a bootlicker. That's all you are.
Yes.
That was one of the greatest ideas of all time to morph it in. And this is, and I don't know who else did this, Vince, but somebody, I saw a headline that I think was CBS News or ABC News, like legit, where they said a man who's in the front office of an NFL team and also runs an entire wrestling organization, the rise of Tony Khan. That happened this week. And I said, where? If my dad was worth $13 billion, I could do it too.
Coach, they just had a special on Fox Sports 1, I think it was, and it was like a day in the life of Tony Khan.
That might have been it. That might have been what I'm talking
about. Bro, they covered him going to the draft wearing the neck brace. But they show all the other owners like laughing at him behind his back, like, what is this doing? What is this dude doing? And the other, oh, he got pile drove at a wrestling show. I mean, bro, you know what I think about when I see something like that, Coach? This is what I think about. Bro, how you making your old man look? You're making your father look like such a dope. Like, what are you doing, bro?
You know what I think? I think, A, you hit the nail on the head, but B, it's kind of how Patrick Mahomes treated his brother, who was an absolute train wreck for all of those years, just doing stupid things, but he would never comment on him, and he would just pay him just to exist. I think when you build a $1 billion empire, that means you're working 20 hours a day. I don't know any billionaires that didn't do it, right? So I think he's just like, okay, here's $1 billion. That's less than 10% of my net worth.
Right.
Just leave me alone. That's what I feel like it is.
Yeah.
But I get a little confused when he's still involved inside the front office because that's embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying.
Showing up, it's embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying. I
wouldn't want to do it. I certainly wouldn't wear the stupid neck brace. Are you kidding me right now?
God. That the first thing I thought of was the old man. Like, you're really going to embarrass your dad like that, bro.
Yeah. All right, game number 2. We're both on Buffalo minus the 5.5. Now, the Bengals are favored by 7. The total 46.5. Where are you headed here, sir?
Coach? I could have sworn. Did I introduced you to this last week?
Yes, you did. This
is called in Italian the Maloiki or Maloik. One of the two, Maloiki.
Yes.
You use the Italian horn to put the curse on an individual or a team, whatever. And this was on the Titans for many, many years because Double J did me wrong. So I cursed this Titans, bro. There is a dirt sheet writer. I am not even going to give him the coach and bro rub by mentioning his pathetic name. I will say this, though, Coach. He's so pathetic. He's a dirt sheet Mark hack, and he goes by 3 names, Coach.
Oh, no.
3. Well, who was that great actor that died? Philip, what was it? Seymour?
Philip, oh, my God. He was phenomenal, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about. You know
about.
who goes by 3 names?
Yes.
This Yahoo is a wrestling mark that goes by 3 names. Like Seymour, like he's great, like a great actor like Seymour. So that right off the bat, I got a huge problem with. Plus, Coach, I don't know about you, bro. My biggest pet peeve, Coach, is when somebody's got a chip on their shoulder and they think there's something they're not.
Correct.
I have problems with people like that, Coach.
Me too.
I really do. Well, this individual happens to be a big Bengal fan.
Oh, no.
So tonight,
I wonder where this was going.
The Maloik comes out. The command is go over. Bro, don't even take the points. Money line, Coach. This ain't about the points tonight. This
plus
ain't about the points.
297?
Yes.
Plus 297?
The power of the Maloiki, Coach.
Wow.
Trust me, Coach.
Your level of taking a story all the way through the jungle and getting it back out onto the road is amazing to me.
Coach, the power of the Maloik.
The power of the Maloik. I have a feeling we're going to have that power a lot here on the Coach and Bro Show.
Yes.
But you know what? I am not as gutsy as you are. I'm going to take the 7. And to be honest with you, I'm going to do it right here live because sometimes you got to educate and entertain, Vince. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to buy points to give yourself a better number. Yeah. And if you buy up to 7.5, it's minus 119 instead of minus 110. So you're going to give up 10 more cents. But if they win by a touchdown, now we win with the Commanders. And there's 3 numbers, 3, 7, and 10 that are so important to take your bets either through or back down through. And so this right here, to me, doesn't it feel different? 7 to 7.5? Big time,
right? Bro. This is Coach working the system, bro. Working the system, Coach. I love that. Love it, bro. But you know what? With the Maloik, you don't need any points, Coach. We got the Maloik.
All right. We're going to go almost plus 300 for Vince. But I feel like, Vince, since we have the power of the Maloik, I feel like I want to task you with a bonus bet. I don't know what it could be. I don't know where you're going to go. But I have a feeling you have a bonus play that the good people at home need to hear about.
I am giving everybody a week. I'm telling you this a week in advance.
Oh, my God.
A week in advance. Now, Coach, you know, bro, my game is baseball.
Always.
Nobody beats me in fantasy baseball. You could ask anyone in my leagues. My game is baseball. I know baseball like the back of my hand. Coach, I got to tell you, bro, I forgot what it was like. Growing up, bro, in New York, bro, I was there for the 69 Mets.
Wow.
I was there for the 86 Mets, the Bill Buckner Mets.
Oh.
I was there for all of that. Coach, I was in Citi Field on Saturday night. There's something happening there, Coach. There's something happening in Citi Field. Bro, everybody knows, Coach, you know this in sports and in betting. It's always that team getting hot at the right time. Bro, there is a magic to the Mets. I don't care what they say about Philly fans. That place was insane Saturday night. Bro, forget about no, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell of the Braves going to the playoffs. The Mets, whatever the odds are, Coach, put down your $50, put down your $100 for the Mets to win the World Series, bro, in 2024, Coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
To back you up, they've won 7 of 8, including the last 2 against Philadelphia. They're off today on Monday. If you're watching this on demand, they play the Braves for 3 and then Milwaukee for 3. I have your back, and I get it. And by the way, side note, and we're not going to get into it because we're running long, one of my great experiences ever in sports was going to Game 7. You remember the Cardinals and the Mets all those years ago? They were building Citi Field.
Yes.
So right?
Yes.
I get a call from Howard Finkel.
The Fink.
And the Fink had bid on these tickets because he stayed at Holiday Inns for 25 years.
Of course he did.
Remember?
Yes.
And they were the official hotel of Major League Baseball. So he just outbid them because he had so many points. And I remember telling my buddies, I was like, I'm going to go to the game with Fink. Why would you go hang out with Fink?
Oh.
It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. He was an encyclopedia, and he just kept talking and talking and talking. And I was like, this is one of the greatest nights of my life, and I almost missed it. And that's what I remember about that.
I'm going to top that, Coach.
Give it to me.
He was my first driving partner.
Fink was?
Me and the Fink, just the two of us. I'm going to give you 3 things.
Please.
Number 1, what do they call the cheap Swisher Sweets?
Oh yeah, the little ones.
Smoke the Swisher Sweets. Number 1. These are no lies, Coach. Number two, he perfected the art of driving with his feet.
Oh, God.
Number three, introduced me to the Dairy Queen Blizzard. Those are my three fondest memories of the great. Yes. Yes. Thank you. My three fondest memories of the great late Howard Finkel.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So many good memories. We talk about the negative a lot, but, man, there's so many good people, good memories. And if you never knew the Fink, his legendary voice, amazing.
Love the Fink.
All right. So that's a good way to wrap up our football kind of portion of the show.
Yeah.
But now do not forget, we have so much bonus content, wrestling content on Backstage Pass. It's something new that Sportskeeda is doing. There's a lot of other good talent, but we're the great talent that's on Backstage Pass. And we like to do maybe 10 or 15 minutes of wrestling content so people can really get educated and entertained.